Speak version equals 1.0 XMLNS equals http://www.w3.org/2001/10/synthesis. XMLNS. MSDTS equals https://www.w3.org/2001/MSDTS Lang equals NUS. Voice name equals NUS Neural. MSDTS. Express as style equals SAD. Style degree equals 1.8. Prosody rate equals -18%. Pitch equals -10%. I am 87 years old. My biggest regret in life is that I never stood up to my father when he was verbally abusing my mother. I was just a teenager when I witnessed it for the first time. It was around 1955 in our small town of Butte, Montana. I remember coming home from school and hearing my father yelling at my mother in the kitchen. He would say the most terrible things about her. I felt so helpless. I was only 14 years old at the time. Nobody told me this, but I've come to understand later in life that this kind of behavior was not normal. As a teenager, I tried to stay out of the way, hoping it would all just go away. But it never did. Those arguments continued for years. My father was a hard man. He worked in the copper mines. He never showed any affection to his family. It was always about his work. I was completely wrong when I thought ignoring my father's behavior would somehow make it better. But now, as I sit here at 87, I realize that I was complicit in that toxic environment. I let it happen, and I let my mother suffer alone. My mother would often come to me in tears, telling me how much she felt hurt and disrespected by my father's words. But back then, I didn't know what to do. I felt powerless, scared of my father's anger. They lied to us, telling us that what was happening in the house was none of our business. But I think they did so to shield themselves from the truth. Those years of witnessing my father's abuse of my mother changed me. I think it made me more passive as a person, always trying to avoid conflict, always wanting to please others. I never stood up for myself, and I never stood up for my mother when she needed me the most. I was too scared, too young, too weak. Now, looking back, I wish I had had the courage to speak up against my father's behavior. I wish I had stood by my mother, told my father that what he was doing was unacceptable. I wish I had been strong enough to protect her from the pain he caused. But I wasn't strong enough. And that regret has haunted me every single day since then. I've spent my whole life trying to make up for my failures, trying to be the person I should have been. I've worked hard, raised my own family, and provided for them the way I wish my father had provided for me. But the pain of that regret still lingers. It's a pain that's hard to explain to others. They might tell me I was just a child, that I didn't know what to do. But that's not the point. The point is, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't do it. It's funny, though. As I've grown older, I've come to realize that it's not too late to change. I can still learn from my mistakes, still try to be the person I wish I had been back then. I can still apologize to my mother, even though she's gone now. My mother used to tell me that I was a good son, that I had done the best I could under the circumstances. But I know the truth. I know I could have been better. And that regret is a heavy burden to carry, one that I'll take to my grave. But as I look back, I realize that my regret can be a lesson for others. It can be a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we have choices. We can choose to stand up, to speak out, to be the change we wish to see in the world. And so, as I sit here at 87, I want to tell you, dear friends, that it's never too late to learn from your mistakes. It's never too late to be the person you wish you had been. You can still choose to stand up, still choose to speak out, still choose to be the difference. I know my story isn't a perfect one. I know I'm not a saint, but I'm someone who's tried to learn from my mistakes, someone who's tried to be better. And I hope, in sharing my story with you, that you might find some wisdom, some comfort, some inspiration in my struggles. If you have been hurt by someone in your life, know that you're not alone. We are all flawed human beings, struggling to be the best versions of ourselves. But we can try, we can strive, we can choose to be better. And so, as I close this video, I want to say thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. And if this reached your heart, please subscribe to my channel. I still have things to say, and I hope you'll be here to listen. /prosody, /msdts, express as, /voice, /speak.